Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and Season 2 of Marvel Studios' What If comes out this week. The show continues its anthology nature while making some connections to Season 1 plot lines in the broader MCU. We're going episode by episode to talk about what we might expect and even give an early review for the season. Ooh, this is the sneak peek, where we take the temperature of whatever we're watching while we head into the next episode or look ahead into the next week of nerddom. Joining me on this episode, the Santa Claus of New Rockstars, if you want to call him that, it's John Costa.
Who wrote that? That's so mean.
You know, Dan, why would that be mean?
I'm incredibly jolly.
You're anti-jolly.
I wrote that. I wrote it. It was me. I was mean to myself.
Well, I quickly want to hear your thoughts on the two episodes we got to see, episode 1 and 3.
That's right. You and me.
You go first. Why did they jump? Which we could probably get into later into the actual discussion.
We'll talk about it. We saw episode 1. We saw episode 1. We saw episode 3. That was what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps, and what if Christmas episode? Happy Hogan saved Christmas. We didn't get to see the what if Peter Quill
attacked Earth's mightiest heroes.
So we're gonna talk about those first 2 episodes. What we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we'll talk broadly about what we kind of expect about the other 7 episodes that are coming this season.
Jesus.
The first one we saw was what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps. There will be some light spoilers in our discussion, but we'll keep it pretty clean. Just kind of like, what the episode was maybe inspired by, some of the themes, the tone, those kinds of things. We won't get into like cameos and plots and things like that unless they already exist in trailer footage. Does that sound good? Okay. What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? I thought it was really interesting. It takes place theoretically before the events of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think we saw in trailer footage that Ronan is going to be in the episode, so he's kind of one of the people in there. So it takes place before Guardians Volume 1. I thought this was a really kind of good tone setter for this season. It's very like Chinatown, Blade Runner, like noir city episode.
When you said Chinatown, were you thinking Big Trouble Little China?
No, I was thinking of Chinatown.
Oh. Kurt Russell is in Big Trouble Little China. Is that Kurt Russell? That's Kurt Russell.
I think so.
Big Trouble Little China?
Sure.
What do you mean you think so?
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell.
Okay, it is. 80s icon making his debut again.
Is Kurt Russell in that episode?
No, but we know that he's going to be in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it's 80s Kurt Russell, so he's just coming back as Big Trouble in China. The episode was great. My question for you, because you did even mention that it takes place before the Guardians first movie. In the trailer, we do see Yondu's like body on the ground. Yeah. We see it lying on the ground, and and
we see Nebula.
Yeah, don the new Mohawk.
Yep.
So what was Yondu doing in the first movie? Because remember, he did interfere with the Nova Corps in the first movie.
So yeah, at that time, he's a Ravager. We know that like, oh gosh, it's been a while since I've seen Guardians Volume 1 for whatever reason. It's such a good movie. Peter and Yondu at that point in the movie don't have the best relationship, right? Peter's off doing his own thing. He's finding the Power Stone or whatever it is. I mean, we don't really know what the story is. We know he's on Xandar. It doesn't seem like from the trailer footage that he's part of the Nova Corps. So it's hard to tell. He's in an alley. It feels a little shady. Maybe he's doing kind of like some underground stuff.
It feels like he must be important, because if we do have Nebula in the Nova Corps coming up to his dead body, and then the next cut is her with the Nova Corps suit on and still donning his like little Mohawk fan, I'm like, oh, this must be something important to her.
Well, and we don't, I'll say this. This is a little bit of a review. Again, we're trying to keep it more spoiler-free than not. But, we watched this episode, so we have a lot of the facts. It seems like Nebula and Yondu had some past, some history, some relationship that we're not totally clear on. So it's hard to tell. Maybe he was her informant or something like that. That's the tone of this episode, is very like, who's informing on who, and we got to get to the bottom of this thing. And that's why I was sort of relating it to Chinatown, because it kind of feels like a cross-city adventure trying to like get information out of different people. This season of What If seems like it's going to be really genre heavy, right? It feels like a lot of the episodes, at least from the ones that we saw, are like, hey, we're doing Blade Runner, or hey, we're doing Die Hard, or whatever it is. Is that something that like we didn't get a ton of in season 1. It feels like almost like a season of Community or something like that. Is that fun for you?
I think it's fun. Do you think it's a spoiler saying that it's going to be like Blade Runner and it's going to be like Die Hard?
I think you can tell from the trailer. Well, we know we've seen Happy Hogan in the events. You can kind of get the Blade Runner stuff from looking at the trailers.
Yeah, that's true. It's so funny. I would have never guessed Blade Runner. And to be fair, Blade Runner is a good movie, but go back and watch it and then be like, wow, what's weird with this scene? There was one scene in Blade Runner when I rewatched it recently where I was like, oh, Indiana Jones, don't do that. Because it's his name. What's his name?
It's Harrison Ford.
It's Harrison Ford. You guys, I forgot Harrison Ford's name. God, he's gonna come down and kill me.
He's gonna crash his airplane.
Stop. I was gonna make the joke and then I didn't want to make the joke. I didn't want to make the Sully joke. But it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. But no, I like where they're going. I like that idea. I think it's also easier, and people love nostalgia, so people are gonna watch it and be like, oh, I remember this. And what us nerds do best is be like, well.
I think it's fun. This show has an opportunity to do stuff that other things in the MCU didn't get to do. Part of this episode, we also want to kind of share with you some of the things we intended a Q&A afterward and got to hear from some of the creators. And, some of the things that people in Marvel Animation keep talking about is a little bit of freedom when it comes to making these shows because they don't feel so beholden to, MCU house style or having to interconnect with a bunch of different movies and TV shows. So I think it's going to be a nice little break from some of the kind of like Marvel house style stuff, which is still fun, and they can still go, the difference between a movie like Captain America and the Winter Soldier and a movie like, The Marvels is pretty vast. So there is a lot of room to play there, but they even have more opportunities here. Yeah. You said this was your favorite of the two that we saw. Is that right?
This is my favorite of the two. I'm also biased because it's Nebula. And they even knew that Nebula was a fan favorite the last season and people wanted more, so they're making this episode around them. And I was like, yes, this is great. I like how dirty it is, how gritty it is. Exactly the same reviews they're giving for Echo. I think it's more fun, but I'm also not the biggest... I like Christmas episodes, who doesn't? But I also was like,
added to the pile.
Yeah, added to the pile.
We got a
Christmas.
bunch of these.
And it is like a Christmas episode for Christmas merch. it is a Christmas episode. It's like, oh, you want to see Captain America Steve Rogers as an elf? Who doesn't? Like, it's right. Perfect. But it's also like, I'm gonna get this as like a shirt or socks, and then I'm gonna put it on the pile of things we're gonna watch every December.
It's in the trailer. There is a shot of Tony Stark like holding up Iron Man socks or whatever.
It's Justin Hammer with the Iron Man socks.
It does feel like there's going to be like a link to a shop.
And I'm like, and I like it. But I did like this episode more, and it also has like characters that I wasn't expecting to see in the first episode.
Absolutely. Justin Hammer being one of them. We saw these episodes before the new trailer came out with Justin Hammer in it, and the audience was like pretty surprised that Sam Rockwell came back. This is a light spoiler. He dances.
That's a spoiler.
Good.
That's a spoiler.
It's good. So all the Justin Hammer stuff, he comes back. He's a lot of fun. I think my favorite parts from this episode are, you're right, like the plot of it is fun, but it is similar to some other things that we've seen. The like one-off jokes about like what the Avengers might be up to around Christmas time is what like really tickled me, and I had a lot of fun.
I think that's fun.
Yeah,
it's just a Christmas episode. I'm gonna be excited when it comes out, but I'm also like, That's my review.
Fucking put it in Grinch over here.
My letterbox for that episode's gonna.
Okay.
I'm not a Grinch because of it. I'm just like
late reaction.
I took it and it hurt my feelings. My cold dead heart. No, it's very fun, and those clips are very fun. After watching that trailer that released after we all got to go watch those episodes, I was like, I'm much more excited for the other 8 episodes and then this one.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what swayed me. Because if I came out of there right now and then did this, I'd be like, it's so fun, it's so cool. Gave me a couple days to digest it.
We were trying to kind of figure out, and we're going to get to a little bit of how the sausage gets made here at the end of the episode, if that's something you're curious about. But we were kind of talking in the office, why do they choose to show us these episodes? It's an anthology. Theoretically, they could show us any number of different episodes. I know at Comic-Con last year, they showed the Hydra Stomper Peggy Carter episode. So I think it's probably just because they wanted to show us the first episode. That's the Nebula one. And the Christmas episode is like a tonally different episode from the first one. The first one's really serious and hardcore. This one's like a little bit more light and fun and Christmassy, and maybe they wanted to get us kind of like in the Christmas spirit or something.
Absolutely. I also think the last thing I'd want to do is show the Cohorty episode to a pack
Avoiding
of wolves.
spoilers.
To a pack of wolves.
That's true, too.
No, well, no, because of the spoilers, we would immediately go online. Like, and it's not us, but there are people out there. Who was that? I'm not going to get into it. There was someone that posted like a giant spoiler once for Eternals, and I wanted to go fight them immediately.
Variety.
I think it was Variety. Wasn't it Variety? Just put it as the headline cover.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so doing that with Cohorty is like, this is an original character, please don't spoil it. They definitely don't want to do Doctor Strange intervene. Why would you ever make that in one of our first two?
You probably don't want to do the 16002 one. It's a little bit more unique.
That's why, and even Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because we're bringing in the 80s Avengers. So it's like, yeah, you can't spoil a lot of these episodes, but Christmas, Happy Saving Christmas isn't really a big spoiler episode, and Nebula's episode entering the season is just really tonally cool to look into.
Let's talk about this Peter Quill, Earth's Mightiest Heroes episode. This is probably the episode that I'm most excited about, apart from the episodes that are like further from normal, right? The 1602 episode I'm very excited for. The Strange Supreme episode I'm really excited for. The Cohorty episode I'm really excited for. Of the rest of them, I know that's a long list.
You missed the Grandmaster one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. But like of the like normal episodes of What If that we're gonna get, I think I'm most excited about this Peter Quill.
How are you defining what's normal, I guess? Are you just saying because it's like normal people?
I don't know how I'm defining
normal, because they're all so weird.
I know. I think like this one feels more similar to some of the episodes we were getting in season 1. Similarly, the Grandmaster episode was originally a part of season 1. Hydra Stomper is a character that we got in season 1.
That's true. This is one where it's like, oh, it's just, what if we turned it a little bit halfway? There's ones where they're literally, what if Strange intervened? Yeah. We're turning the full, flipping it over.
Flip it over. I'm also very excited for the Hell episode. We'll get that in a second.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious. So you just did the breakdown of this trailer. You sort of had like this theory, or maybe you found evidence of it, that like Peter Quill was going to be helping Ego do some of the seeding.
Talk to me about it.
Okay.
Talk to me about it.
Yep.
Talk to me about it.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay, good. So why I think he's assisting him is, I don't know, it just feels like the logic of that we're seeing the Ego rocks, and it's 80s Ego rocks. So if he is continually planting it like he was in the first movie.
You're referring to like the weird dusty looking,
those creatures that are, well, the Ego
people.
Yeah, the people in the desert. The people in the desert, the rock people.
It was a bunch of people from Burning Man. They got
These
flooded
are the ones
out.
that got
They're
stuck.
Covered in mud.
They Pompeii stayed out there, and now they're sentient again. Holy shit! What if you can take it? But just put me and John over there, 2 JCs.
Yeah, set us up with some
residuals. Give me some of those residuals. No, but it's like if he's still going with that plan and it's going as according to plan. I was like, okay, none of these. If it was Peter Quill, he could make the rocks look like him. I don't think he's making the rocks look like his dad. So I was like, I think he's just assisting him in still furthering that plan of planting himself on every planet and then destroying it. But he has to bring up that terrain to go against the Avengers because they're here to actually fight. I think that is personally a different planet. I don't think they're on Earth. I think they're like fighting Quill, and then they figure out that, oh, they need to go to Ego, and they're going to.
Do you think we'll see Ego in the like living planet form in this episode?
100%.
That would be a lot of fun.
I believe that. That's why I think, and I talk about this, we're not going to get too hard into this. I talk about this in the trailer breakdown with Hela's episode. It says, what if she found the 10 rings, right? It's not she discovered them. So she could have easily just ran into someone with them. She didn't find them. Someone else is using them. She's just like, oh, I could use this to my advantage. And that's how I kind of feel with this episode. We're focusing really hard that it's Quill. And there's a bigger man above him, and that's Ego. That's actually doing a lot of the lifting.
We definitely see Wenwu's going to be in that Hela episode. Presumably, he's still the person who discovers the 10 rings, and Hela just is like, hey, those look cool.
Yeah, cool.
I have those.
Can we be on a team together?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, mostly because I'm curious to see what a Ego Peter relationship looks like when they're working as a team. We got a brief look at that in Guardians Volume 2, but then it quickly shattered, and then Ego became a piece of shit. And
then the Black Panther episode of What If, it just was him mopping like a Dairy Queen and then turning around to his dad.
Right.
Who teenage him, which I thought immediately too, and I was like, oh, maybe this is, and I was like, wait, he's a kid, he's an adult in that, he's a child now.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for this episode just for the 80s Avengers. And I think they know that.
It's a great list. Do we want to run through them real fast?
Yes, please, go. Yes.
I don't have it memorized.
Oh, it's T'Chaka. It's 80s T'Chaka. It's Bucky. It's Marvel. We have King T'Chaka. We have Hank Pym's Ant-Man. And then I saw a little piece that's Wasp, the mom.
Oh, maybe we get a little Michelle Pfeiffe.
I saw the little wings and her when they came down on at the carnival. I probably should have known.
I've been really wanting an Ant-Man and the Wasp throwback
like
to Hank and Janet for a long time.
I think everyone does.
We get that little tiny taste of it in the first Ant-Man movie, or maybe is it in the second Ant-Man movie?
I think it's second because we see a little flashback
where you see her disappear into the quantum realm.
And then we
have
Thor.
More of that.
And then we have Thor.
All the ageless ones made it.
Yeah,
Where's Cap?
He's
still in ice.
Well, it's Bucky.
I guess that's what it is.
It's
He's
Bucky.
still in ice.
But also, I think, and it's interesting because I'm very excited to see Quill like as a child with the Star-Lord powers and owning them, but I'm more excited to see this lineup fight together.
And one of the things that I really like about the promo material we've seen for this episode is they are repeating some of the shots that we've gotten iconically through the MCU. The team up shot from the first Avengers movie, that cool slow-mo shot where they're all kind of like in slow motion moving.
Where were you at my breakdown? Where were you at my breakdown?
That shot too, and it's like almost as if those moments are like canon moments in the MCU. And of course, like they're just kind of like doing little winks and nods to past MCU films, but I do think it's fun that like every single Avengers team in all of the multiverses has like this exact same kind of like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this episode. Thanks for reminding me about it because
it's gonna be fun.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with the idea of like Hank Pym's Ant-Man and T'Chaka working together. Maybe because we never would see that. And I'm like, yeah, let me see these two people that one's very dead and then one is not doing Ant-Man things anymore.
And we should say, Michael Douglas came in and did such a great job with What If Season 1. He was so good in that episode. He ended up being one of my favorite villains from that season. And the creators of the show sort of said, like, we called Michael up and he was like so game to do this episode and he gave it his all. So I think like that's going to be one of the performances to look out for this season. We're going to talk about the next 6 episodes and what to expect from those. But first,
this video is sponsored by Helix Sleep, and good, because I sleep better on my Helix mattress than I ever used to. And now everybody can get 20% off on a Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows. If you're feeling overwhelmed at the thought of finding the perfect mattress, I get it. I've been there, but Helix's sleep quiz makes it so easy. You just take the quiz and Helix finds the perfect mattress for you. I wanted a medium firm mattress with lumbar support that sleeps cool, and I got matched with the Dusk Luxe Helix mattress. This year, Helix launched their newest and most high-end collection yet, the Helix Elite mattresses. The Helix Elite collection includes 6 different mattress models that combine personal comfort with high-end luxury. So if you're ever on the fence about getting a new mattress, it's time to jump off that fence and land on a Helix Elite. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the United States. The mattress comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up yourself. Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love your mattress. Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty. Helix even offers financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I love my Helix mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep. You can click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/rockstars to get 20% off your Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows.
I just wanted to say, hey, check out nerdriot.shop. You can grab the latest and greatest new Rockstars gear. Jessica and I right now are repping some sort of What If inspired tees. We've got a sort of like a tour t-shirt. I don't know if you can see this, but at the very bottom, it's got all of the 9 realms. It says 9 realms tour. You've got, Asgard, Midgard, Nidavellir, Vanaheim, Sutrafheim, all the things. I'm not Norse. I've got a shirt that's inspired by this What If Tony Stark ran into the Grandmaster episode. It's like our Sakaar cart shirt. We've got a bunch of OG classic Avengers in different vehicles that like we think that they would drive. Tony's got this cool Formula 1 car. We put Spider-Man on a bike. Thor's got a chariot. Some cool stuff. Check out nerdriot.shop. We also heard that you really loved our God of Stories shirt, so we doubled down and we came out with this sick new for all time always tee to celebrate the MCU's newest God of Stories, and it's just like Loki with the Yggdrasil world tree, and I love it. He's there for all time.
It's a good shirt. It's beautiful. And the art is insane. I don't think we're gonna do this, but you recommended putting them on cards, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
This makes sense for the back of cards.
We're trying to figure out how to do playing cards, maybe next year. But support the channel and check out our great merch options over at nerdriot.shop. Don't forget to subscribe to all 3 channels on the New Rockstars network. The channel that we're on right now, New Rockstars, of course, the Deep Dive, and the set that we're on right now, the Break Room. And maybe we'll have more channels in the new year.
Jesus Christ.
Who knows?
Let's get
slow down, everybody. Too much.
Slow down. Get on that bike.
Get on that bike. All right. There's 6 more episodes that we didn't get to see. So let's run through those and give our thoughts real fast. So the 4th episode coming out this year is coming out on Christmas Day. What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? We've seen not too much from this episode. Yeah. We've seen them sort of like racing around in cars. We don't really know what's going on. We know that Jeff Goldblum is back. One of the compliments that the writers bragged about during our Q&A was that Jeff specifically was like, no, this like really, really, really feels like my character. So like, thank you guys for writing to the Grandmaster. I'm just excited to see the Grandmaster again. I thought that he was so fun, and we didn't get to see him in Thor: Love and Thunder, even though there was like a deleted scene or something that didn't get shot that had him in it. I think this is just going to be like a goofy, fun romp around Sakaar.
This feels like the Thor episode of The Party. Thor the Party God kind of episode.
Yes.
Where it's like,
totally.
here's all the craziest things that are going to happen, and then we're back to a little bit to normal. There's one scene in it, because Gamora's in it, right?
Is that so? That shot with her?
I think that shot is in that episode. Okay. And then, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But it does, she's in the same armor, she's in the same look. So I was like, oh, I think, you know how before they started battling in Ragnarok, they were all in that like Thor was in that like prison room with Korg and Meek and stuff. Right. I think it's a slightly different world now where he's just like kidnapping them and they're in their own cells instead. It's not like a shared space. Sure. And that's them, they're gonna each get like a open the door. Right. They're coming.
Well, so who do you want to see Gamora? If we are doing sort of another Gladiator Games type of thing that maybe devolves into some car stuff, who do you want to see Gamora fight the most? I have my pick.
Who's yours?
I really, really wanted
in this Cars episode specifically.
In the Cars episode, yeah. I want a what if episode that is like sad and tragic, and it is like something about Gamora and Nebula when they were kids and Thanos was making them like fight each other. And so if I can't get that, I want to see Nebula and Gamora face off, because we've never really gotten to see them fight. We've gotten to like hear them talk about how they've had to fight each other. We did see like a little bit of them fighting in Guardians Volume 1 in the sort of third act, but like I want to see the like sister versus sister, like really emotionally weighty fight between the two of them. But sorry, who do you want to see Gamora fight?
I don't want to see Gamora fight anyone, because that's all she's been doing.
Yeah, it's fair.
And that's why I also don't want to see her fight her sister, because if she fought her in the first movie, fought her in the second movie, and then fought her at Endgame, I'm like, I think I've seen her fight enough. I think my favorite part of Nebula is her when she is in the final Guardians movie being like, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. Please stop this. Yeah, I don't really care if Gamora fights. In that episode, but I do always want Gamora winning. And it's interesting because I like Gamora more in What If than I do in the MCU.
Interesting.
I'm always like rooting, but I think it's because she's like so independent in What If. They make her, and she is independent in the MCU as Zoe Saldana.
Especially in Guardians 3.
Yes, that one, and that's what I was like, I'm so happy James Gunn was like, no, this is a different Gamora. You guys, please stop.
Right.
And that's the Gamora I like. I'm like, oh, she's independent. She's ruling things. She's very strong.
Man, I thought that Gamora Peter Quill ending for their relationship was like so perfect in like a I don't want this to happen kind of way, but like I accept that this is what needs to happen. Yeah. Almost like the ending of, this is a weird reference for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but like almost like the ending of La La Land, where you're like, I kind of want them to get together, but you know it's not really right, so you're happy that it goes the way that it goes.
I've never seen La La Land.
What are you doing tonight?
No!
Another episode.
Do they do that?
Cut that out.
No, don't cut it out.
All right, episode 5 of this season is what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. This was set up in season 1.
Yeah, you were saying
we saw Steve as the sort of like Hydra Stomper at one point. We don't know a ton about this Hydra Stomper episode. I think this is the one we've probably seen in trailers the least. The most we've seen of it has sort of been like Captain Carter and the Watcher.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're implying that like Captain Carter is now like that's a pretty big conversation to have with the Watcher, just like a normal person.
I'm more, which maybe we'll figure out as we keep going through this. Why Peggy Carter?
I don't know.
I love Peggy Carter. You guys don't come at me. I love Peggy Carter. Good for you. But I loved her show. So that's why I'm like, I'm like, what does the Watcher, Venn diagram me, the Watcher and Peggy Carter, and tell me what is in the center of that, in which they would both need each other.
They just both met at one of those chess boards at Central Park, and they were like, the Watcher was like, let me show you the universe.
Let me show you.
You beat me in the game of chess.
Checkmate. Watch this, bitch.
What is this?
That's how he opens
She kills the shit out of her.
Yeah, breaks her neck in Central Park.
My bad.
Wouldn't be the first person.
Forgot humans were that weak.
I forgot humans were that weak. But no, I'm interested. When I say confused, don't take it negatively. It's more so I'm very curious to what that storyline will be.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on here, the 6th episode of the season, What If Cohorty Reshaped the World? We know a little bit about this, not too much. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, I believe that this is the first original character in the MCU that has sort of been like the titular character of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's a lot of other original characters in the MCU, but it's pretty rare that like an entirely original, not from the comics character is like the lead.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
This is, it's again, in the most positive way, the wildest thing. It's so crazy to me, and it is true.
So
it's like, I don't think they've ever. I'm trying to think of like. I'm just trying to think off the top of my dome about the original characters Marvel has made and has been like, here's their own episode without us knowing anything about them.
I mean, genuinely, like the closest we've gotten to something like that is, you know, a Captain Britain or a Captain Carter or like a Miles Morales or an Echo or a Miss Marvel, which is like a person who's really new to the comimics that we've gotten a show from. But for the first time, this is like a new character for these shows. And you did this great work on the breakdown, kind of piecing some things together that Cohorty somehow has the Space Stone and Thanos is trying to get it. That's presumably the last Infinity Stone he needs.
Yes, it seems this is us piecing together what we have from the trailer, right? Because also Peggy Carter is in that scene where Thanos comes out of like his portal. So I don't know if I don't think that's Cohorty's episode. Right? Eric.
It could be either.
Yeah, Eric deduces that it's the ending episode that involves Hela too.
Maybe.
So Cohorty could show up in more than one episode, and I really hope she does. But
similar to last season, where the last 2 episodes were sort of like a culmination of the full season. Yeah.
And I think that's what is going to happen, and that's going to be her introduction into the group of What If. And because we see it in the trailer that she falls into the water, she goes down, and you see the blue light beaming up. That's where she probably gets it. Comes up, and she sees the entire tribe. She's glowing with her powers. And that's why there's a scene where she's like, we have these like mythical buffalo or bison, the big ass creatures. And I think it's on a plane that we aren't on. She's like training somewhere else.
That's right.
Yeah,
those bison seem super otherworldly.
They're otherworldly. Yeah. And I think she's training and prepared to throw ships over to the fucking hell.
let's run through these final 3 episodes quickly. What if Hela found the 10 rings?
Oof.
We know that Surtur is going to be in this episode. Wenwu is going to be in it. Odin. So that's really exciting. I'm just hoping that we see a little Shan, a little Shang-Chi in that episode. I know it takes place majority in the past, but we do think that there's some modern-ish New York stuff happening in that episode. So maybe we'll get there. Maybe they'll go to San Francisco. Who knows? We do know that Sean and Katie are in New York because they were just recently with Wang at the Sanctum Sanctorum. So maybe they'll show up. What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? This one feels like the most sort of like probably not going to connect to some of the other episodes. It's based off of this great Neil Gaiman comic run of the same name. We also have a great shirt for that episode. It's like an old school, super cool Scarlet Witch, and it's 1602. We made it into a hoodie. Check it out. We should get you that shirt.
I have so many. I have so much Scarlet Witch gear.
And then the last one is, what if Strange Supreme intervened? So this is kind of a really interesting episode. We don't know what it's going to be about. That's the one we probably have the least plot kind of idea about, even though we obviously got a lot of Strange Supreme in season 1.
Yeah. The only thing I think I can pull away and everyone should take away from this episode is Strange Supreme is supposed to be watching Killmonger and Zola in that little cube. So if he's intervening, who's watching those two in that cube not let loose? Unless they let loose.
Killmonger is going to be in this season, so we don't know if it's going to be in that episode or a different episode. If it's that specific Killmonger, if it's a different Killmonger.
I don't trust Supreme at all. Yeah. I do not trust him. And that episode was called, when the Strange Supreme was watching Killmonger and Zola, that episode is called like, what if the Watcher broke his oath? Right. And then at the end of that episode, he's like, what are friends for? And then now we have an episode called "What if Doctor Strange" or "What if Strange Supreme had to intervene?" And I'm like, he's leaving his post.
We know there's a line in the trailer where the Watcher says at some point, like, "I don't normally do sequels, but I'll make an exception" or whatever. That's not in the first episode of the season, so that's a sequel to maybe the Strange Supreme episodes from the first season. So, okay. Sorry we had to zip through those. It's time for our heat check. Jess, we've seen 2 episodes. We've seen 2 trailers. Where are we with this season of What If? Do you think it's going to surpass your expectations and maybe you're going to enjoy it more than season 1? Where is this show you think it's going to kind of land for you in terms of other MCU shows?
This is personally for me, I think it's going to exceed my expectations for season 1 because they can do whatever they want, and I think they're really owning that this season. Even from the Q&A, they're clearly like, yeah, we're not in the same world as you guys. Yeah. Like, we're same property, but we can do whatever the hell we kind of want. So I think they're going to exceed expectations, push more. And these episodes feel different than first episode. We have an episode for Cohorty. Like, these are different episodes than what we got in the first season. The first season was like the same characters we've seen, just twisted a little bit. Very much more excited for season 2. Is it going to exceed? Yeah, I think so. It's going to exceed my expectations for the other Marvel TV shows. If I had to put it in like a ranking, it's hard because like, what if season 1 feels so different than this season? Mm-hmm. But this season, going off the trailer, I would put like, out of all the Marvel shows, number 4.
Whoa!
Number 4. I'm very excited for that. You guys don't understand how excited I am for that Strange Supreme episode, Cohorty's episode, and Hela finding the 10 rings. That is insane to me.
Yeah.
Give that woman the 10 rings, you're out of your mind. She's colonizing. She's going crazy.
It's going to be a ton of fun. Jessica, you're going to be here to break those episodes down.
Yeah.
I'll be here to help you as much as I can, probably from behind the scenes. That is it for this episode of The Sneak Peek. We will see more of you guys this week as we break these episodes down. Can't wait. Follow New Rockstars on Twitter. Follow Jessica at Lulu_Clemons. Follow me at Con Josta. And hey, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching.